Morning children, welcome again here in this video tutorial. This is your science tutorial class, myself Renu Kanyal. Alright, so look at the screen. What do you see in the screen? Yes, it is a sun. And what is a sun? Basically we can say that sun is a star. Alright, and the natural source of light. Okay, it gives us heat and light. Okay, children? Okay, and the second picture is, do you see something in the sky? Yes, stars and moon. And what about other thing? It's the bottom, water, and the shadow of the moon and stars. Alright, what the next thing we are observing in this picture? The shadow of the moon and stars. Okay, and the next image is mirror and candle. So what do you observing in this picture? Yes, it is a mirror reflection, right? You are able to see the image of candles in the mirror. So it's a mirror reflection. Okay, children? So children, our today's topic is light, shadows and reflection. Alright, so we will study in this chapter. This is chapter number 11, light, shadows and reflection. Do you know that at night when we enter a dark room, we are not able to see anything. As soon as we switch on a bulb or a tube light, we are able to see everything around us. What enables us to see things around us when a bulb or a tube light is switched on? We need light to see the things around us. Okay? So, here we have some sources of light. Here in this picture, you can see clearly some sources of light like sun, fire, torch, table lamp and kerosene oil lamp. These are the sources of light. Okay, children? So, according to them, we just categorize these light into natural two types, right? In two ways, we can say that natural sources and man-made sources. So, natural sources of light. What about the natural sources of light? Sources of light that occurs in nature are called natural sources of light. For example, we have example here. This is sun. This is the natural source of light. And give me some more example. Yes, stars, firefly, deep sea organisms, etc. Okay, these are the natural sources of light and man-made sources of light, which is sounds clearly that man-made sources, that means the sources which made by man. All right, so these are example you can see here. This table lamp, this torch, kerosene oil lamp and fire, etc. So these are the man-made sources of light. Okay. So here we have already discussed about natural sources of light and man-made sources of light. Now next is luminous and non-luminous objects. What are luminous objects? An object that gives out its own light is called a luminous object. It means that All sources of light like sun, the stars, a burning candle, a glowing tube light, a lightened electric bulb, a firefly, and the electric ray, deep sea organisms are all luminous objects. Okay, they emit light. So that's why they are luminous object. Okay, children? And what about the non-luminous objects? Okay, just take a look here. An object that does not emit light is called a non-luminous object. It means that objects which do not emit light, they do not have their own light, they are called non-luminous object. So we have example, we can give example by our own, like people, animals, birds, plants, chairs and tables are all non-luminous objects. So how we are able to see these objects? We can see non-luminous objects because they reflect light received from luminous objects like the sun, a bulb or a torch. Okay, children? By or into our eyes. For example, moon is a non-luminous object. Non-luminous object that does not have its own light. Okay, but we can see it clearly. How it is possible? We can see the moon because it reflects sunlight into our eyes. Okay, due to the sun's reflection we are able to see the moon. Okay, children? Now our next topic is transparent, opaque and translucent objects. Alright, transparent, opaque and translucent objects. So let me give you some example of these objects. See, in this picture we have transparent object, translucent objects and opaque objects. So what are transparent objects? The materials that allow light to pass through them and therefore we can see things clearly through them are called transparent object. Okay, light pass through completely. So you can see this is a plain glass. You can see that the water is we can see the water is we can see the clear image of water inside the glass. All right, so this is a transparent object. All right, now next is translucent object. The material that allow only some of the light to pass through them are called translucent object. So light pass through them partially. So we cannot clearly see through translucent material. Material like grounded glass, butter paper, oiled paper, paper simmered with oil, alright, and tissue paper are all translucent material. Now come to the next, opaque object. So the material that do not allow any light to pass through them and therefore we cannot see anything through them are called opaque objects. Okay, no light pass through them. So see here all the pictures. We have some example of transparent images, transparent objects. So here glass. Look at this. This is glass, lens, and clear plastic bottles, diamond, air, water, and clear cellophane sheet. Alright, so all these are the examples of transparent objects. Now next is translucent object. So look at here, butter paper, color plastic, oil, tissue, glasses. These are the translucent objects. Now next is opaque materials. So we can see clearly that opaque materials are plastic chair, stone wall, coin, steel cupboard and book. These all are opaque materials. Alright? Children, our next point is the traveling of light or how light travels. So we can say that light travels in a straight line. Here, if we shine a torch in a dark room at night, we will see that a beam of light produced by the torch travels straight out in the darkness. Okay, this shows that light travels in straight lines. If we place an opaque object in the path of the light, a shadow is formed behind the object. Okay, the formation of shadow by a source of light suggests that light travels in straight lines. Okay, so the beam of light coming from the projection room in a cinema hall suggests that light travels in straight lines. So how light travels? Light travels in straight lines. Okay. By this activity, you can see that light travels in a straight line. Right. So here we need a candle, a matchbox and a rubber tube. Okay. So what is the method? Put a lighted candle on a table. Take a rubber tube, stretch it straight and look through it at the flame of the candle with one eye, keeping the other one closed. If the rubber tube is straight, you will see the candle flame through it. Okay, so see, the rubber tube is straight and you can see, you are able to see the candle flame. And in the next image, just bend the rubber tube, and now are you able to see the candle flame? No, because the banded rubber tube is downwards. So we are not able to see the image of the candle flame. Conclusion that the light of the candle travels in straight line through the hole of the rubber tube. When the rubber tube is bent, look at here, when the rubber tube is bent, the light of the candle flame fails to reach us. Therefore, we cannot see the candle flame. We can now say that light travels in straight lines. Okay? Light travels in straight lines or rectilinear propagation of light. Okay, children? So, children, our next point is shadows. So, what is shadow? Do you know that how to form a shadow? Okay. Take a torch and let its light fall on a wall. Tell your friend to come in between the torch and wall. What do you notice? A dark area behind your friend appears on the wall. Being opaque, your friend's body acts as an obstacle in the path of light and it does not allow light to pass through it. Okay? Because that is an opaque object, so it does not allow light pass through it. Therefore, the dark area is created behind your friend's body. See here, this is the dark area behind your friend body. This dark area is called shadow. Okay? It means that we can say a shadow is a dark space shade formed behind an opaque object when it blocks light from any source of light. Okay? A shadow is a dark space shade formed behind an opaque object when it blocks light from any source of light. Alright? Now, condition necessary for formation of shadow. So by an activity, we find out conditions necessary and for the formation of shadow. Okay, necessary for the formation of shadow. So here we have activity, formation of shadow. You can see activity, formation of shadow. So what we will do in this activity, let the light of a torch fall on a wall. Okay, take a torch and let the light of a torch fall on a wall. Place an opaque object, alright, such as a wooden scale. You know that opaque objects which do not emit their light, they don't have their own light. So we just choose some opaque objects like wooden scale in between the lighted torch and the wall. You will observe a shadow on the wall. Now switch off the torch. Would you see shadow of the wooden scale on the wall? No. Now the shadow will not be observed. This show light is essential for the formation of shadow. So what do you understand? Yes, light is essential. Light is very essential for forming a shadow or formation of a shadow. Okay, now replace the wooden scale by a transparent glass sheet and switch on the torch. Again, you will not observe any shadow on the wall. In this case, shadow was not observed because glass sheet does not obstruct the path of the light and shadow is formed due to this obstruction of the path of light. This shows there must be a opaque body to obstruct the path of the light for the formation of shadow. So one thing we need light and one thing we need opaque objects for formation of shadow. Okay children? It is clear to you? Alright. Now shine the torch upwards so that its light falls on scale but not in the direction of the wall. Again, in this case, you will not observe any shadow. This show an opaque screen is also necessary for the formation of shadow. So two things we have here, light and opaque things. From the above activity, it is clear that conditions are essential for formation of shadow. These are light and opaque objects. All right. So, from the above activity, it is clear that three conditions are essential for the formation of shadow. These are: there must be light and there must be an opaque body to obstruct the light. Second is there must be an opaque body to obstruct the light, And the third one is here. You can see there must be an opaque screen on which shadow is formed. Alright, children? Now look at the next characteristics of shadow. So, here we will study about characteristics of shadow. Characteristics of shadow. Following are the characteristics of shadow. Color of the shadow. So whatever is the color of the object, its shadow is always black in color. If you have a red, green, blue, orange, yellow color, so it doesn't matter that your shadow will be the same kind of colors which you have. The shadow always be black. Okay, children? So whatever the color is, the shadow will be black. Now come to the next, size of the shadow. The size of the shadow is variable. Variable, it means that it is increases as well as decreases also. How? Let's do study here. It depends upon the size of the object. Alright, children, it depends of the size of the object, and object, we can say that opaque object, which does not allow the light pass through, right? And distance between the object and source of light. We need object and source of light. As this distance increases, the size of shadow decreases. As this distance, the distance between the object and the source of light, if it is increased, the size of the shadow decreases. Alright? The distance between the object and the source of light, if it is increased, the shadow, look at here, if it is increased, the distance here, the distance, if it is increased, the shadow decreases. So formation of shadow on a screen, you can see here, as the distance between source of light and opaque object here increases, size of shadow decreases, right? If it is near, both the things are both the things are together or closer, then the size of the shadow increases. All right. Now next is sharpness of the shadow. Sharpness of the shadow. Okay, children. Now shadow of objects may be dark or fuzzy. All right. The sharpness of shadow depends upon the source of light used. It is also depend the source of light used which we are using. If it is a sunlight, man-made light like a torch, light like bulb, like fire, etc. Or if it is a star's light or sun's light, the source of light, right? If the source of light is very small, also called point source, right? If it is very small, then the shadow formed will be dark with a clear outline. If it is very small, the source of light is very small, the shadow will be dark with a clear outline. But if source of light is wide or extended, right children? Wide, right? Wide, it means that broad, and extended, the shadow will consist of two different zones. Okay, the central darker zone is known as umbra. The peripheral lighter zone that surrounds the umbra is called penumbra. Okay, umbra region does not receive any light. Now umbra region does not allow any light, and the penumbra region partially receives light. Alright, so here in this picture, this is umbra and this is penumbra. Okay. So, a shadow of tomato formed by an extended source of light. Alright. Okay children, rest of the topics of this chapter like mirror reflection and pinhole camera reflection we will learn in next science tutorial class. Alright, see you in the next science tutorial class. Bye bye, have a nice day.